Hey and welcome to Bike World. We're here at a beautiful sunny Brands Hatch for the British Superbike Championship, and here's what you can see on today's show. We're here at Brands Hatch to find out how Triumph are helping to develop the next generation of British racing stars. And Susie has been invited back to the White Helmets to take part in a top secret trial. For some reason they didn't ask me back. But first, welcome to a brand new section of the show then, where we're going to bring you news of all the latest biking gear, gadget and innovations that hit the shelves here at J&S Accessories. Now, as this is our first in the series, we thought we'd start at the top and look at a rather, essential piece of kit to wear when you're riding, and that is your helmet. Now, I can't emphasise how important it is to go out and buy a decent helmet. In fact, there's no excuse nowadays. Most dealers offer 0% finance on your gear, even with a package to buy your bike and do your test at the same time. So, where, when it comes to buying a helmet, is a good place to start. The thing is, there are so many helmets out there and so many different styles. Which one do you choose? Well, a lot of people look up to their racing idols when it comes to picking a helmet, and that's not a bad idea because the racers, well, their heads, they're worth quite a lot of money, so they're generally wearing the most latest high-tech helmets on the market. But what helmet does your favourite racer wear? Well, we thought we'd go through some of the biggest names in racing today and tell you how you can buy a street-legal road-going version of their lid. First up, there's the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Mr. Valentino Rossi. Now, Valentino Rossi, I don't know if you know this, has all his actual helmets designed, and he gets through more than most by his best mate Aldo Drudi. Now, what's quite cool, a little bit of trivia for you, is that on each of his designs he generally has featured at some point a sun and a moon, and that's to reflect both sides of his personality. Pretty deep, it's got to be said. Anyway, he's been developing this helmet, the AGV Pista GP, with AGB since 2009, and Mr. Rossi knows a thing or two about helmets. Now, I'm not going to lie, it comes in at the very high end of the market, looking at £800 for this bad boy, but it is incredibly light. It's made fully of carbon. As you can see, it has a rather unique design, a massive field of vision, and supposedly the best ventilation in the business. Also, it's got loads of little fins at the back to provide stability and aerodynamic at high speed. But it's not just Rossi that wears this on the grid. Oh no, it's Bradle, Iannone and many more, and I think you can probably see why. Let's be honest, it looks sexy, and for a helmet, that's a pretty rare thing, and it's probably the trickiest piece of kit I've seen. So if you wanted to emulate someone a little bit closer to home, how about our very own alien in the world of MotoGP, the calculator Cal Crutchlow. World Supersport champion and now regular podium finisher. He wears this, the Arai RX-7 GP. Again, it comes packed full with the latest technology, and a bit I really like, it's actually got a little adjustable lower wing on the back to help with stability. It's also light and extremely comfortable. It still comes in at the high end of the price range though, with the actual Cal Crutchlow replica I've got in my hands here, costing $699, although you can buy the bog standard version of the helmet, which is just as good, without the pretty colour scheme, for £580. But for that money, you will be replicating the best and most talented rider in MotoGP at the moment. I've got to say that, he's British. What about your world champion Jorge Lorenzo? Well, he this year has signed to HJC, a manufacturer of helmets who are kind of new to the racing scene, and he wears this, the RPHA 10, a helmet that was actually designed and developed by, as you can see on the back, the sourpuss of the MotoGP grid, Ben, Ask My Mum, Spees. But you can get the Lorenzo colours on this helmet as well, and the fact that Lorenzo is now working to develop it is kind of cool. Now, this is a really good helmet, although it doesn't quite have some of the more innovative features of the other lids we've looked at. It's still light, airy, and the great thing is because it's not fully carbon, so a little bit heavier but not massively noticeable, it's not going to break the bank. You can buy the actual Lorenzo exact replica for £400 or a standard one without any of these special paint schemes on for a mind-boggling £200. So sticking with Brits, how about the man that's dominating the Moto2 World Championship at the moment, has a certain style on and off a bike, Mr. Scott Redding. He wears this, the Shark Race R Carbon Pro. Now, it's a pretty trick helmet, but it's not just Mr. Redding in the paddock that wears it. Other Brits like the Lowe's brothers, Tom Sykes in World Superbikes, and even Sylvain Guintoli, and hell, guess what, even I don the Shark Race R Pro Carbon. It's a carbon Arabid mix which makes it extremely light, and one of the big focuses for Shark is they've got their riders to test the stability of this helmet. You can see with the fins at the back at over 300 kilometers on track, which makes a big difference. So Scott's actual fully replicated Race R Pro Carbon will set you back £480, which is actually a lot cheaper than the rivals, and it's got pretty much all the same tech. But what I like about this as well is you can, like a few other manufacturers will do, buy the Scott Redding replica in a cheaper model helmet, which will probably only set you back about about £180 or £200, so don't forget to have a look for those because you could grab yourself a bargain. Now, if you like your races even more closer to home, for the Morecambe missile and TT legend John McGuinness and the most successful British superbike rider of all time, Shaky Burton, their choice of lid is this, the Shoei X Spirit 2. Now, it's made of a carbon composite, which means it isn't quite as light as some of the full carbon lids, but it does score really high on comfort and vision. And I tell you what, it's a massive improvement on the old X Spirit. They've increased the aperture size, they've increased ventilation, and they have fitted a spoiler at the back to aid stability. Now again, this is at the higher end of the spectrum. The race replicas will cost you £639, but the good thing is you can buy a bog standard X Spirit 2 like this one for a much more paltry £520. And it's not just Messrs McGuinness and Byrne who wear this lid. Expect Mark Marquez, Bradley Smith and also Eugene Laverty to be rocking the X Spirit 2. So there you have it, a selection of your favourite racers' lids. Now obviously these are at the rather high end of the scale when it comes to buying helmets, so we're going to look at some more quality budget options later on in the series. Plus, if you like free stuff, we're going to give you a chance to win a Shark Scott Redding replica later on in the show.
Last time I was here at Camp Blandford visiting the White Helmets, they had me hanging from a pole whilst I was screaming my head off. I was at the top of a pyramid screaming my head off, and then whilst practicing to do the fire jump I did a spectacular crash, but I did actually jump through the ring of fire in the end. Well, it turns out that Captain McFun was suitably impressed with my efforts, as he's asked me back here today to train with the White Helmets and participate in one of their actual shows. So McFun, can I call you McFun? Or does it have to be Captain McFun?
You can be Alex if you like.
Okay, Alex. So what's the plan of action for today?
Today we're going to train you to be in one of the shows. We're going to see how you get on with some of the more complicated tricks. And of course jump through the fire, see if we can't burn off your hair extensions.
So there's a few things I'd like to stipulate for today. I definitely don't want to be hanging upside down in any shape or form.
No upside down?
I found that really scary.
Okay, that's half the tricks.
I'm not very good at juggling, I found out last time.
Yeah, you can practice that.
Maybe with just one ball, from hand to hand.
So we'll see how you are with one ball.
I can't hold my leg out like that for very long either.
No, so a bit of Bikram yoga.
And I also don't really want to be doing the jump through the fire again.
That's the whole point of the show, basically. That is the pinnacle of the show. So we're going to let you do it on a KLX this time, on one of the Kawasaki's rather than the Heavy Triumph, because we know the difficulties you had last time. But you'll be fine. Just listen to what we say and you'll be fine. Do
I have to wear one of your silly outfits again?
Silly? Do you want to rephrase that? It's my uniform. No, we've got some protective gear for you and we've got some NGK coveralls for you.
I don't mind wearing it. You know, could it be tailored though, perhaps?
We can do a little bit of tailoring, yeah. We've got some sellotape somewhere.
So McFun, who's your mate?
This is Corporal Shay Dawson. He is the future chief instructor of the White Helmets. He's already done a tour with the team, 3 years, went away, did a tour in Afghanistan, and he's come back now to take over the chief instructor role, and he'll be teaching you today how to jump through the fire. Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy. I feel good.
Okay, I'll leave you to it. See
so
ya.
What are you going to have me doing first? Just riding around?
Yeah, just to get used to the bike. We've got like a little circuit going around the airfield, a little bit of off-road, a little bit across loose gravel down the bottom. And we'll do that a couple of times, get you used to the bike, and then we'll take you across to the fire ramp.
I was just wondering whether or not you'd noticed the man at the end, the fire extinguisher. Always very encouraging when you're about to do a jump through fire. So nervous then, it's so daunting seeing all that fire. It literally crosses, it doesn't look like there's any way through. But I was so glad I did it, it's such an adrenaline buzz. Shay, we're just about to do one of the rides. I've done it before, it's the crossover, but now I'm going to attempt it and see whether or not I'm good enough to do this as part of the show.
Yeah, before you did it with just a few people, now we're doing it with more people to build you up, to give you a feel of how it feels for us in the show. You've just walked the ride, but I'm sure you'll be fine. You've got your sequence in your head, you can jump well, so I'm sure you'll be fine. Now we're going to move on to the Irish Whip. Forster, Cup Cooper and Cup Greenhouse are going to do it by themselves. Then you're going to go on pillion with Cup Forster. It's the fastest ride that we do. You probably get up to speeds of 30-40 miles an hour. You've got someone go down the middle of the arena, then you've got two people going at diagonals all at the same time to the middle of the arena in certain sequences, so you miss each other.
I know which one this is. I've seen the pictures in the office where you've got somebody who's crashed.
We have, yeah. Well, that was someone who went the wrong direction.
Grass.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But you'll be fine. You're going back at Cup Forster, he's done it 20 years.
Guys, I've had another brilliant day. Thank you so much for inviting me. But the big question is, have I made it into one of the shows, or are you regretting asking me?
Without doubt, you'll be in one of the shows. Very impressed with your riding ability. No question whatsoever on your bike control. It's whether you've got the courage to put your trust and your welfare in the hands of my white helmets, and you showed today that you didn't have any problem doing that.
Oh, thank you. But I take it I'm going to need some more training, aren't I?
You are. You need to appreciate the sense of urgency required in the show. So what we're going to do is have a full training day with the whole 22 lads down, and we'll do a run through of the show and the tricks that you're going to be on, and we'll put you in the right place at the right time so you don't get run over by a bike.
Oh, brilliant, thank you. That'd be good.
That would be good.
So we've got another training day, and then hopefully I'll be ready to actually join one of your shows as a white helmet. I'll be able to call myself a white helmet for the day.
You certainly will. You'll definitely be ready.
Thank you so much. And all these challenges that you're setting me, well, I kind of think we need to set you a few challenges.
You think it's my turn to be put out
I
of my
do.
Right,
A motocross day, what do you think?
Yeah, that'll be brilliant.
A track day?
Yeah, let's do it. No, I accept your challenge.
Good.
So what with Cal Crutchlow showing everyone up in MotoGP on his Satellite bike, Scott Redding dominating the Moto2 Championship, and Tom Sykes and Sam Lowes kicking everyone's behinds in World Superbikes and World Supersport respectively, right now, after a few barren years, it's a pretty good time to be a British motorcycle racing fan. Thing is, how do we ensure we don't go back to the dark ages? Well, I've come here to the Triumph factory in Hinckley to find out exactly how we can help the next crop of young UK riders reach their potential at the top level. It's called the Young Guns scheme. Check it out. So David, what exactly is the Young Guns scheme?
It's Triumph's way of giving back to British motorcycling, I suppose, but really it's about trying to nurture the next generation of British motor racing talent. So it's not just about racing technique, it's about what goes on off the circuit as much as it is about what they're doing on the circuit. So media, fitness and nutrition, sports psychology. We take them and do some technical seminars where we get, this year we've got the backing of the Smiths Triumph factory team coming on board to help us.
When you're a young budding racer, you might be able to get the bike around the track fast, but the step from being able to do that to become a full-on professional, fully fledged racer is massive, isn't it? There are so many things to take into account.
Yeah, I think you can ride so fast, and it's interesting. You speak to these lads. This is the third year we've been doing it now, and they all say, "Oh, we've got really good kit." But it's no good having that kit if you can't make the best of it. So having that knowledge of how to talk to your mechanic to say, yeah, it just keeps understeering. Or, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's the difference? Do you know? And so that we do that. We get them out on track. We spend a lot of time with some professional racers, giving them these guys some tuition so they look at how they're riding.
So, well, it's the third year of the scheme now, and you've seen quite a lot of success already. I mean, the scheme's first winner was Chrissy Rouse, who I obviously got to cover in the TTC, the Triumph Triple Challenge last year, in his rookie season, having just won the Young Guns Championship.
But Chrissy has been brilliant. He took the whole scheme to his heart, worked really hard, spent evenings at home practicing the plank and watching the telly, and so really got involved. And he has used everything in his arsenal that we gave him to move things forward, even to the fact that he's now he got a sponsor off the back of the work he's done with us.
And David, the bit I'm going to be helping out with is the interview process, isn't it?
Yeah, we've brought you in to put these lads through their paces. More and more these lads are getting television coverage, and they're getting interviewed at the end of the races, and sometimes the television, the camera is worrying.
It can be very scary.
So what we're trying to do today is you to educate these lads that you forget the camera's not there, it's a chat, and it's all cool, and hopefully relax them and able to get the message across. It's really important to come across well on camera and get your message across.
I'm up for this, man. I'm going to pass on my knowledge. We've probably got 32 seconds, so that won't take that long. I'll do it twice. So what we're going to do then is we're going to head into the classroom now. For the first part of it, as you say, talking about sponsorship with Andrea from Triumph, and then I'll be getting my hands on the riders later on, and I'll be grilling them for interview purposes. So let's crack on.
Come on.
What's your name and what championship do you ride in?
My name's Max Alexander, and I'm racing in the Raps Lister National Junior Cup.
Tom Kahn, I'm from Aslington, Rosendale. Local lad, I work at a car wash down the road.
Oh, brilliant, man.
A lot of people, because I'm always in the paper, a lot of people come in and always saying congratulations.
My name's Jake Mason, I'm 17 and I'm from Leicester.
So bringing through the next generation of young British riding talent is not just about being in the classroom, oh no, it's about being here in front of thousands at Brands Hatch on the grid as part of the British Superbike Championship. Now, what better way to make a name for yourself as a rider than in a complete level playing field? The most competitive one-make series in the UK, the Triumph Triple Challenge. So right now, I have Chrissy Rouse, the original Young Guns winner from 2011. Man, that's an honour. You were the first ever Triumph Young Gun.
Yeah, well, we first heard about the scheme in the MCN and we got involved in it, and it was a fantastic programme, and really privileged to be the first one.
I mean, Triumph have been involved with you, your development as a rider, pretty much all the way through. As you say, from when you were younger, they got you into the Young Guns scheme, factory supported ride first year. It looks like you could take the TTC this year. I mean, you've got a lead of 50 points at the moment. Then it will be a factory supported ride in Super Sport next year, and you can literally see your progression that's come through the Triumph development scheme, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. That's where the Young Guns was designed for, to pick up some sort of like young talent and then bring them through. So far, it's going really well, and hopefully we'll carry on and take the championship.
So when it comes to assessing and mentoring the Young Guns, Triumph have a vast wealth of experience to draw from, including these guys, the real deal, the factory Triumph Smiths Racing Team. Now Billy, you're involved in mentoring the Young Guns. What exactly does that involve?
Well, yeah, it's great to be a part of it for sure. This is a massive opportunity for these young kids. For me, it's I'm really passionate about trying to find someone and getting a bit more involved with going through the pecking order, as in you know, the whole way through the paperwork side to the actual track side.
Have you seen some real potential out there in the next crop of riders for next year?
What they learn and what they listen, and the politeness of some of the young kids actually coming up and saying thank you for the time and stuff like that, which will get you places rather than, you know, you could be the best rider out there and then, you know, if you're cocky or big-headed, no team wants you. So you've got to be a whole package, and especially now that you know, it's getting harder and harder to become a professional with the recession and sponsors becoming less and less. There is definitely there's two kids that I've got my eye on anyway that I've found really good as well as talent, but are very thankful and nice people. So which I think helps to go a bit of the way as well.
So the future of British racing looks pretty rosy, and that's largely down to Triumph's involvement. And the great thing is we'll be catching up with all of these guys at the end of the year to see how 2013 pans out. So that's it for this week's show. Set your reminders for the next episode, which will be on Thursday the 8th of August at 9 PM. As always, in the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page, and don't forget now you can get loads more content and videos in full on our YouTube channel.